Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Friends, today we are going to discuss how one can find happiness in lay life. This topic was suggested by one of the listeners. First, let us see what is meant by happiness. The Pali word for happiness is sukha. And it means, in the Pali, the meaning, it means pleasant, happy, joy, or bliss. In the English dictionary, it is given as fortunate, lucky, or a feeling of or expressing pleasure, contentment, satisfaction, good fortune, prosperity, well adapted or fitting, marked by an atmosphere of good fellowship, etc. So, you can see that the ancient definition is different from the modern one. It is one of the three feelings, or Vedana. Feeling is called Vedana in Pali, and it could be bodily or mental. It is an indispensable condition for attaining samadhi or concentration. So you see, to get, when you do meditation, your hope is to get concentrated. And for that, you need this feeling of joy or happiness. In the Anguttara Nikaya, the Buddha says there are two kinds of happiness. That is the happiness of the layperson and the happiness of the renunciate. So, sensual happiness, that is the layperson's happiness, and the happiness of renunciation. Happiness bound up with acquisitions. That is, acquisitions are house, children, spouse, all kinds of material things. You see, all kinds of acquisitions. The happiness that is lay life, right? Then the happiness of not having acquisitions, without acquisitions. Then also happiness with taints. Taints are called fetters. Also in Pali, sangyojana. So that is with taints, that is the layperson's happiness. The renunciate's happiness is without taints, without fetters. Then worldly happiness and spiritual happiness. Noble happiness and ignoble happiness. Happiness based on pleasure and happiness based on equanimity. So these are some of the kinds of happiness that Buddha talked about, that you find in the Anguttara Nikaya. The Buddha says, I do not see even one other thing that, when developed and cultivated, brings such happiness as the mind. So you see, in Buddhism, we always talk about the mind and not the body so much. But the body, of course, is necessary for the mind to be there. Otherwise, the mind alone cannot stay, right? So the body is the receptacle, but the mind is the most important part of the two, the mind and the body. So the Buddha says that there is nothing so great as the mind that is developed, which would give you happiness. There is nothing else that could bring happiness in the same way. So the Dhammapada, I think most of you must be knowing about the Dhammapada. The Dhammapada starts with the verse, Mano Pubbangama Dhamma. All actions are led by the mind. Mind is their master. Mind is their maker. That's how the Dhammapada starts. So, as the Buddha explained, if we develop the mind, then we'll gain happiness. Whether you are a monastic or whether you are a lay person, if you develop the mind, you will definitely be happier. So, in the Anguttara Nikaya, there is a sutta called the Kalama Sutta. Now, that is where the Buddha visits this place. And the Kalamas are the people who live there. So the Buddha asks the Kalamas, if a person is without greed, not obsessed with greed, does not destroy life, does not take what is not given, does not transgress with another's wife, nor speaks falsehood, nor encourage others to do so, then he says, will this behavior lead to his welfare and happiness for a long time? So when the Buddha puts it in that way and asks the Kalamas, they agree and say, yes, Bhante. So in the same way, one day, another disciple, not really disciple, another young prince called Digajanu. He was a Kolian prince, Digajanu, and he was a householder. So he came to the Blessed One and said, we are laymen, enjoying sensual pleasures, living at home in a house full of children. We use sandalwood from Kasi. Now that is a kind of soap or kind of scent that was used. We wear garlands, scents and anjans. We receive gold and silver. Let the Blessed One teach us the Dhamma in a way that will lead to our welfare and happiness in this present life and future lives. So you can see that this Kolian householder, Digajanu, asked the same question that we want, isn't that so? Right? Now, isn't this request very similar to what we want to know? Now, this is the answer that Buddha gave at that time. It might be relevant even today. There are 4 things that lead to the welfare and happiness in this life and future lives. Now, the first one, that is accomplishment in initiative. Now, let me explain that. That is in whatever way one may earn a living, one must be diligent, skillful, and possess a sound judgment about the work in order to carry out and arrange it properly. Now, if you are a chef, you must know all about how to cook and what ingredients to put, right? If you are a businessman, you must know about the business, right? If you are a teacher, you must be aware of what you are going to teach to the children. So like that is what the Buddha says. You must be diligent, you must be skillful, and you must arrange your work properly. Now that's the first one. Then the second one is protect the wealth thus earned righteously. Buddha always says that as lay people, you must be able to earn while you are young, right? And he says it must be righteously earned, not unrighteously. So what is righteously earned? You must know how to use it properly, right? Now that is what is the second one. And protect it, of course, the wealth that you have earned. Then the third one is one should associate with people who have faith, virtuous behavior, generous and wise, so that one could emulate them and be similarly faithful, etc. Now, when you have noble friends, they will not mislead you. So therefore, that is what Buddha says, that Kalyana Mitra are the whole of the sasana, not half the sasana, but the whole of the sasana, right? I'm not going to the detail of that story because I don't have time. So the third one, that is the third one, right? Then the fourth one is one should know his income and expenditure and lead a balanced life that is neither too extravagant nor too frugal, so that the income exceeds the expenditure. Because if you earn $1,000 and spend $2,000, you are going to be in trouble. So that is what Buddha says. You must always balance your wealth properly. Now those are the four things that Buddha gave to Digajanu, that is the Kolian householder. It's good to see a more modern point of view. Now Buddha lived 2,600 years ago, but still we find what Buddha said very, very useful to us, isn't that so? But now let us see a teacher of another school of thought. Pope Francis gives 10 tips for happiness. Now you will realize how close they are to what Buddha taught too. Let us see. Now the first one is live and let live. What it means is, when you judge others, think, who am I to judge others? Now he takes one side of life, that is, he says, whether they are gay or straight. But there are many, many other ways of judging people, you see. People always judge others when they see anybody else. So that is why he says, who am I to judge other people? So the second one is be giving of yourself to others. Now, can you see the way it is put? Be giving of yourself to others. Live charitably towards all, especially the poor. And he says, charity extends beyond money. You can just throw a little money to anybody, but that is not real charity. Real charity is giving yourself to others. That's why he says that. Now, what does that mean? Giving your time to someone who needs it, not to withdraw yourself, you see, into yourself without withdrawing, you see. There are some people who cannot sort of associate with other people. So that is what it means. Then the third one, move quietly, more calmly and quietly through life. What does that mean? It is like meditation, isn't it? That we practice. That means that there are certain people now. I can remember there was someone here just in front of us, our house. Now, of course, that person is not there. Had a motorbike, and whenever he started it, the whole place would sort of reverberate. It was so loud. So you can see there are certain people who are like that. But here the Pope says stillness is what is meant here. Stillness, right? Then the fourth one is have a healthy sense of leisure. People who work must take time to relax, to be with their families, to enjoy themselves, read, listen to music, play a sport, etc. You can't be all the time earning money. What are you going to do with it? You must enjoy life too as lay people. So this is one of the 10 commandments. And the fifth one is Sunday is for the family. Sunday is for the family. Once a week, take a break from work to spend time with one's family. So as I said, this is one of the 10 commandments. Then the sixth one is find ways to make jobs for young people. Drug use and suicide is high among the young people who are unemployed, especially under 25. So be creative and help them to find work. You know, different people will find different jobs, suitable for them. A person who is interested in farming will not like a job in an office. So like that, you must be more creative. And jobs mean not only money, but also dignity. For honest work gives us dignity. Now that is the sixth one. The seventh one is respect nature. Even Buddha said, if you stay under a tree for shade, be careful not to even break a leaf from that tree. That doesn't mean that you can go and, cut off other trees. But what it means is that you must be very respectful towards the environment. So that is what the Pope is also saying. Respect nature. Environmental problems and poverty are connected. The degradation of the environment is like humanity is committing suicide. The eighth one is letting go of negative things quickly is healthy. A secret to happiness is shunning negativity. Then the ninth one is stop converting. Now, can you see? The Pope is saying that. And I don't want to go into detail. So we should not talk with others with the goal of persuading them that we are right. everyone sees the world in his or her own way, and that should be respected. Then the 10th one is work for peace. Now you can see the Buddha and the Pope both agree that happiness is due to personal or individual effort. By letting go of the defilements and cultivating generosity, love, etc., one can live happily in the world. Now, let us turn to more mundane things like work. There are different ways of approaching one's work and workplace. For some people, it becomes a sacrifice or a drudgery. They don't like to, go on working. Let's see if we could make it a happier and more enjoyable environment. If one can connect with the work and gain satisfaction by putting forth effort to make whatever you do a success. In the Noble Eightfold Path also, effort is mentioned, isn't that so? So you can see how important effort is in life. Sometimes when we work, we could keep, now, there are certain times when you get tired of work. I will give you another example after this. Now, this is one of the things you could do. When we work, we could keep a picture to inspire us, or a book of quotes that you could peep into when you feel downhearted or dejected. Now, I like to tell you another thing, that is, now meditators, you see, they say, we don't have time to meditate. So I can tell you now, when you are even working, after working for 1 hour or 2 hours, just take a break. And, you don't have to talk to other people about it and, discuss it. But you could just keep silent for 1 minute and watch your in-breath and out-breath. Just 1 minute. Like that, if you continue every hour or 2 hours or so, you will, at the end of the day, you would have meditated about 10 minutes. So and it will be a break from work. So we could organize not only our work, but also the space that we use. For example, a tidy desk or a computer or even the room, etc., which would help to energize you to start new and exciting tasks. Teamwork is enjoyable when all the members work together, helping each other and being supportive, not pulling, in different ways. Then, of course, it becomes a real trouble and difficult to manage, right? When everybody is trying to, draw towards their own view. Some people consider feedback as criticism and try to avoid them. When someone tells you, no, this is not the way to do it, this way it will be easier, or some such thing. Some people, do not like it. But do you know that the Buddha has said, such advice is like showing someone a hidden treasure. It's in the Dhammapada. There are others who do not like to ask for help. But it's better to find out from a knowledgeable person than messing up some kind of project. If you make it a habit to offer help without being asked. When you need help, others will be willing to offer help to you also. No matter what the job is, if you cooperate and provide fun and joy, you will enjoy it and find satisfaction. Try not to get angry and irritated over small mistakes of others, for no one is perfect and we could make blunders too. When you accept your present job, accept the way you look, accept your family and friends, your home, the facilities you have, etc., it will bring a genuine contentment. For it's important to feel that with all imperfections, you accept your family and friends, your home, the facilities you have, and you become your best friend. Then you will not abuse yourself with drugs or alcohol, nor will you start comparing yourself with others and think, oh, I am a failure. Life has not given me any happiness. How unlucky I am, etc. You know, if you start thinking like that, you will never be happy. So it's best not to compare yourself with others, because we are all, each one, individuals with our own karma. So we cannot take another's karma to ourselves. We have to create our own karma. So that is why we should not compare. People who have wealth are not always the happiest. So when we do not have many expectations in life, then life becomes easier. The one who makes comparisons and see only what they lack needs to focus on one's inner being. If one can make 2 lists, you know, just take a piece of paper and make 2 lists, positive and negative. In fact, I told a certain person to do that. I don't know whether that person did it or not, but you know, when he started complaining always, I told him to do that. And write down the good things, even little, on the positive side, and whatever negative on the other side. And when you compare the two, you will find the positive sheet is weightier than the other. I mean, that is, weightier means that you have more things that you can be happy about than being unhappy. You could also ask yourself why you want things, certain things you want, and you push away others. Why do you do that? The answer will be, it's because of craving, the maker of suffering. You see, when you are not satisfied with what you have, now, you know, santutti paramang danang is that what the Buddha has said. You must be satisfied with what you have. Then only you can make yourself happy. When you long for other people, what other people think, what other people have, it becomes covetousness. So if one realizes that happiness cannot be gained by having the best things of life, it will lead to contentment. Also, one must use whatever resources that are available in the best way possible. It's the way you face the trials and errors of life and rise above them that will make you genuinely happy. You see, when you have come across trouble, difficulties in life, and you are able to overcome them, then, you feel a real satisfaction. Oh, I have done this. True happiness is a state of mind. In the Dhammapada, there is a section called Sukha Vagga. We see how a person could be happy. Now these are some of the things that I found there. If one is able to live without hate among the hateful, there are some people who are, all the time they feel angry and, they only find sort of wrong, the bad things about others. They only find sort of nothing good about people. They hardly talk good about people. So if you can stay among those people without hate, then that is one way. To live without longing for sensual pleasures among those who long for them. To live without being poisoned by the three poisons: craving, anger, and ignorance. To look at both winning and losing with equanimity. At one time you may lose, another time you may win. But if you can see both, in the same way, then that's also happiness. Not associating with the foolish. That is one of the first things that Buddha says, isn't that so? Asevanacha balanang panditanancha sevana in the Mangala Sutta. So, but associating with the wise, one would be happy even if that one is living in this world. You don't have to be a monastic. You don't have to take to the robe to be happy. All those defilements are due to the importance given to the ego or the sense of self. It is because of the sense of self that we do so many things, right? When provoked to anger, one cannot bear it, for it has hurt her or his feelings, which is the sense of self. Now, householders face both physical and mental suffering due to poverty, hunger, family and social crisis, domestic violence, etc. Sometimes these problems lead to personal unhappiness, even criminality, or even war, which will cause much destruction to property and human lives. In the Digha Nikaya, that is another section of the Buddha's sermons. The Digha Nikaya means the long suttas. There is one called the Chakravarti Sihanada Sutta. And that clearly states that poverty is the cause of immorality and crimes like stealing, false rumors, violence, hatred, and cruelty in societies and countries. When there is poverty, all the other things can follow. By trying to suppress crimes, by punishing kings and rulers in ancient times and modern governments have failed by trying to punish them. Instead, the Buddha suggests that the economic condition of the people should be improved by giving grain and other facilities to the growers, those who grow things, cultivate. Capital for traders and those engaged in business. Sufficient wages to the employed, etc. See, even Buddha has talked about economics. Then people will be contented and be fearless, and the country will become peaceful and free of crime. There are some other suttas that I don't know whether you're familiar with, like the Parabhava Sutta, the Singalovada Sutta, Vyaggapadda Sutta, and the Mangala Sutta, where you get guidance for happier living. If one looks only for pleasure from life, ultimately he or she will be unhappy. The Four Noble Truths are based on this wisdom. That is, that craving is the cause of suffering. This truth was relevant in ancient times. Today, it is even more so. Unlike our ancestors who had only a few implements to help them in life, you know, like the mamati and the knife and things, little things like that. Today, the accessories in every field of life are beyond imagination. But still, the materialism and craving that are part of living show the great increase in greed, lust, and ignorance. The ancients believed in hard work and striving to gain rewards, but the modern generation has not learned that lesson. As people look for easy ways for fulfillment, many problems like obesity, you know, being fat, drug addiction, and selfishness have cropped up. The key to a happy balance is to practice simplicity and letting go. This is the discipline given by the Buddha for both monastics and the laity. Then one will have more time for gaining spiritual knowledge. This is the way to freedom, peace, and calm. Daily meditation, even for a short time, mindfully engaging in whatever you do, one could check and balance the mind and not let it think negative thoughts. One ancient seer has said, now lots of people think this, ask this question. If you want to know your past life, look into your present condition. If you want to know your future life, look at your present actions. Did you understand? Right? This is similar to Buddha's words to the Kalamas. That is, the noble disciple Kalamas, whose mind is without enmity, ill will, undefiled, and pure, has won 4 assurances in this very life. First, if there is another world, that is after death, if one gets the result of one's deeds, after death, one will be reborn in a good destination. Second, if there is no other world, because some people think there is no other world, and no results of deeds done, in this life, you think, I maintain myself in happiness, without enmity and ill will, free of trouble. Now the third one, he said, was, supposing evil comes to one who does evil, as I have no evil intentions towards anyone, suffering will not come to me. Then the fourth one is, since I do no evil and I practice the 4 Brahma Viharas, that is, the 4 Brahma Viharas are Metta, Karuna, Mudita, Upekka, loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, and equanimity, right? So I am purified in both ways. So I like to end this talk with a verse from Shantideva, a Mahayana saint. Now this is the poem. May I be a protector to those without protection, a leader for those who journey, and a boat, a bridge, a passage for those desiring the further shore. May the pain of every living creature be completely cleared away. May I be the doctor and the medicine, and may I be the nurse for all sick beings in the world until everyone is healed. Just like space and the great elements such as the earth, may I always support the life of all the boundless creatures. Thank you. So now, if you have any questions, please ask. Or you can write down in the chat box also. Any questions?
It was very clear, sister. Thank you.
Would you like to do a little meditation? So today I have a special request to make. You see, because the okay, thank you. This world today is really in trouble. And we don't know when trouble will come to us too. So, but without that selfish thought of our, facing trouble, now we'll see how the others are facing their, in their own countries. Now there is a war going on. So there is an epidemic that is covering the whole world. And there is a war between 2 countries that were friendly, and they were all relatives, they are own people. So this is due to craving for wealth, power, security, etc. All this results in what? Destruction of life and property. We see huge buildings tumble down like a pack of cards, or sand castles. I think you would have seen in the TV or whatever news.
Ukraine.
Yeah, you would have seen this, right? So now, and there is killing and wounding people and other beings. and the spread of cruelty, hatred, anger, despair, sorrow, pain, both mentally and physically. All this you can see today in different parts of the world. Families are broken up, displaced, become homeless, and there is unnecessary suffering of both children and adults. So today I thought we would do a little metta meditation for these people, for us too. So will you please sit down and make yourself comfortable and relaxed. It won't take a long time, but right, you are ready, and now take a few deep breaths. Close your eyes. There is very little that we can do to stop these wars. We can't do anything, but we can send our love, compassion, kindness, and share whatever merit we have gained today and in our life with all of them. Both the victims, now don't think of only the victims, both the victims and those who give orders and those who carry them out. You see, we have to be neutral towards all, right? So let us send our love and kindness and compassion towards them. So think in this way. When I say it, don't say it with me, but think. May I and my loved ones and friends be free from harm. We first spread loving kindness to ourselves and our own people. May no harm come to other beings too. May I be happy, may they be happy. May all beings be happy. May there be no war or killing, harming, wounding other beings. May there be no destruction of property. May people stop hating each other. May people care, protect, and respect each other. May the whole world be well and peaceful. Whatever devas or gods there are, may they protect the world. May all our good and kind feelings cover the whole world like a cloud or a blanket. May all beings share our love. May all beings realize their mistakes and reform themselves. May there be safety, peace, and harmony in the world. Now to end, let us all share whatever merit we have done today by listening to a Dhamma talk, by giving a Dhamma talk, and also whatever merit we have done in our lives. May we share this with all the devas in the world, and may our relatives who have departed, may they also share in the merit that we have done, and may all of them protect the world, and may there be peace and happiness in the world again. So let us say these words, of course, in Pali. Now, first of all, to the devas, may Akasatta cha Bhummatta Devanaga Mahiddika Punyantang Anumoditva Chirang Rakkantu Sasanang Chirang Rakkantu Desanang Chirang Rakkantu Mang Paranti. Then to the departed, Idamme Nyati Nang Hotu Sukhita Huntu Nyatayo. Idamme Nyati Nang Hotu Sukhita Huntu Nyatayo. Idamme Nyati Nang Hotu Sukhita Huntu Nyatayo. Dukkhapatta cha nidukkha, bhayapatta cha nibbhaya, sokapatta cha nisoka, hontu sabbe pipanino.